You don't have to forgive to heal. I'll say it again. You don't have to forgive to heal. Welcome back to Lead with Sarah podcast. Has been a couple of weeks of break. I'm going to drop a new episode every 2 weeks. And today we have a very hot topic. And the reason why I'm sharing this because has been one of my biggest work over the past 2 years. I did a lot of work on this, and I just want to preframe that everything that I share with you, it comes from research, personal experience that I did live, truly live, not just pretending to, truly lived, and did my research, did my learning, and then implementing those learning before showing up here and sharing this with you. So forgiveness, it's not a dogma. And we live in a society where love and light industry, the spiritual world, have been preaching about forgiveness. It's the only way to heal. And honestly, it's not true. Research proved that in particular cases, forgiveness can be re-traumatizing for the client. And was my journey. That's why I'm bringing this up. I have been going through this experience myself with a therapist. And I was about to get re-traumatized, and I was re-traumatized after the session, but I was about to get even more re-traumatized if I will not end this kind of therapy. Now, is that therapy bad or good? This is not an episode where I'm telling you that therapy is bad. Absolutely not. I have my therapist, and it's not true. Therapy is a good tool. It's amazing. And we actually all need some therapy. So there is nothing wrong with that. And I know that the word it's open about, but I'm going to dissect what happened in that session so you can learn from this experience and do your math and be discerned, because this episode, it's about teaching you to be discerned through my experience. So there is a lot of things that happen in that session. So first of all, it was my second session. Second session, this person told me to forgive my abuser. So I'm repeating this again. This person told me to forgive my abuser as a first step. So forgiveness is the number 8 stage in the healing journey. You don't force forgiveness to someone at the beginning of their journey. It's actually clinically wrong. And the reason why, because there are stages. And if you are someone that hasn't processed a certain emotion yet, you haven't really allowed yourself to feel certain emotion regarding what did happen to you, the traumatic event that happened to you, you are not at the stage of forgiveness, and the therapist or the other person that guiding you through this journey should actually know that. So this was very alarming, and that was already the first red flag. And the second red flag, forgiveness, it's a personal choice. I remember say, I don't feel this is right. I say this to this person. I feel that I should forgive myself first before forgiving the person that actually abused me. And I remember I said, no, we start with hard one. You forgive this person first. And it didn't felt right at all, obviously. And I want to unpack this. Forgiving yourself after, I'm talking about, this is in general, but I'm talking about with people that, because I know my audience, it's a lot of those people have been going through this kind of emotions and traumatic experience. If you have been going through emotional, physical, sexual abuse, forgiving yourself is the first actually step, really, before forgiving the other person. And again, it's not mandatory of your healing. And how many times we hear this from friends, family, therapy, online, you need to forgive in order to heal, otherwise you're never gonna heal. It's not true. Healing, it's a personal journey. And by not forgiving the person that harmed you and abused you, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be broken. Doesn't mean that. It actually means that for you, forgiveness, it's not the stage where you are in. And also, forgiveness, it's your choice. As a human being, you have the choice to choose, I'm gonna forgive this person or not. And they are both fine. Research proved this. People that are expert in trauma and talks about narcissistic abuse and abuse of any kind, they share this in depth, that actually forgiveness too soon, it's re-traumatizing for certain people that have been going through those experience. And why is that? Why is it traumatizing? Because as a people that experience any sort of abuse, you have not been validated for your experience. You have been gaslighted, accused, Maybe people told you that you were crazy, that it didn't happen, that you were making things up. You might have been going through coercive control as well. So you have been constantly invalidated. Let's put it in that way. So when someone basically tells you that you have to forgive, it does invalidate again your experience and create again trauma. This episode, I knew it would be intense, and I really wanted to share this because people need to know that we need awareness around this. In the wellness space, in the coaching industry, so many industry are kind of falling apart. And this is the reason. This is because of what's happening to people. And people are becoming more aware now. You can't hide it anymore behind a cute IG reel or behind a screenshot with your testimonial with client that achieves certain result. You cannot hide anymore. You have to embody your work. You need to know what you're doing. Anyway, now we keep going. And by the way, if you haven't followed this podcast yet, please press a follow. You also can subscribe to YouTube channel, which is called Love and Lead with Mark and Sarah. It's the channel that I share with my partner, Mark, which is a somatic expert in breath work. And if you want to have a session with me, you can go into the link into the description and you can book in a clarity call with me, which is basically a first session where I can see straight away where are you stuck with your pattern and why you are stuck and how can you change that so you can finally experience and lead your life from a place of power, no survival and over-functioning. Let's back to this therapy session. That was the second part of the call. I don't exactly remember now how the order was, but I just wanted to highlight a few parts of it. So this therapist said that I needed to reframe my beliefs around coercive control. Let's stop here right there. Coercive control is not a belief problem. Coercive control is not a mindset shift that needs to happen. Coercive control is something that happened to you. It's different than reframing my beliefs. Now, that you want to rewrite your story about what did happen to move on in your life, yes, absolutely. But that's, again, not the same. That's not the stage I was in. It was about processing my trauma. It was about actually feeling my emotion. It was about allowing my body finally to feel and go through the anger, the guilt, the shame, the unfairness of what did happen to me. So telling someone that coercive control is a belief that needs to be reframed is dangerous, actually. Very dangerous. It's absolutely not okay because that's not what coercive control it is. Coercive control is someone really manipulating you to the point that you look like the crazy person and they creating and installing so much fear on you that you are going to do what they say. So because they created that. It's a completely different story. It's not about beliefs. And we have to be very careful with what we say, especially in a space of a trauma-informed space. We have to work with the person and understanding in which stage they are in. When I work with my client, there are 3 stages that I take them through. The first stage is awareness. The second one is somatic release, so they can finally step up into the version of themselves they want to be. Stage 3, it's identity shift. And I have a conversation with them at the start in my clarity session and I understand where they are at. If they are in stage 1 and they are still not super aware of certain things, I'm not just gonna go too far and tell them, let's do an anger release session, which is what I do as well. I don't do that. I guide them through the process of becoming aware first and create safety in their body with true breath work, through journaling and certain somatic practice before going into an anger release session. There is steps that need to be taken and you need to be aware of that as someone that deal with things like that. So that was a kind of funny. Now it makes me laugh, but it didn't make me really laugh at that time. It's kind of also very dangerous for someone. And I was quite aware because I'm doing this work every day and I'm studying, I'm working with clients. So I was very aware. So I did recover fast from that session, but some people will not recover fast. Some people will go into a black hole because of that. Number 3, this one is a big one. And this one is the one that honestly is the most dangerous one of the 3. So stay with me until the end. I'm going to reveal it very soon. And by the way, I want you to comment below if there is anything in this episode so far that you can relate from. I want to really say that you are not the problem. And when you have been going through abuse of any kind, your mind as well, and your body especially, doesn't even know what it's real and what it's not. And you might doubting yourself. You might thinking that something is wrong with you. You might thinking that you are the problem. You might thinking that you made it up. I just wanted to let you know that the moment that you don't remember something, or the moment that things are confused, and the moment that your body tells you certain things, it did happen. And it's not that everybody else sharing something, it means that they are right, even if they are in a position of power, like a therapist or a system or a lawyer, whatever it may be. That doesn't mean they are right. You should question things when it doesn't feel okay inside of you. And it's a practice. It took me a long time, 2 years, to actually reconnect with my intuition, to reconnect with myself. And now when things feels off, I don't question it anymore. I go there. But in the past, it wasn't possible for me to do that, because those kind of abuse, stripping away your intuition, the connection with yourself. That's why people dissociate. They have a shutting down and freezing response with their body. That's called a dissociation. Or they overfunctioning, like me. They performing. They're doing more and more and more and more, because that's how they keep themselves safe. So it's very natural to don't feel connected with your body. And that's actually the problem. And that's actually the way through. And which is why with my partner, Mark, we do somatic release, because that's how your body get the chance to finally finish what it couldn't and process what it couldn't without even bringing the mind, endless processing and talking. You don't need that. It's important. It does have a part into it, but through the body knows what to do. You just have to put yourself into the state to be able to do that. And after that, you can move on with your life and you can rebuild. You can finally rebuild. So what is number 3? Oh, I knew that this episode would be long. I'm trying always to stay between 15 and 20 minutes for you, so you can really consume this while you're cooking dinner. The number three is, this person told me that I did play a part into what did happen to me. Now, let's all sit down with this for a moment. And I want you to comment below. Please tell me about this. What is that you're thinking about this? I am the only one here that see this as a crazy thing, a very dangerous thing, a very damaging thing, or there is other people out there that actually thinking the same thing that I think. Telling someone that has been going through abuse, which is not okay in any shape or form, that I did play a part in it. What's going on here? In which kind of society we are living? And nobody let me be clear. And again, I did my research on this. Let me be clear, and you can do yours. Someone that has been going through any sort of abuse didn't play any part in it. It literally didn't play any part in it. And doesn't matter the age. The abuse can be something that happened when you were 20s or 40s or whatever age, and you haven't made still, you didn't had any part in it. It's not okay. In any case, what you play a part in it, it's when you are not doing the work after that. That it is different. Not doing the work, not facing the truth, not going through the process of releasing the emotions and rebuilding your life, that's the part that you will need to play. Obviously, you need to choose to heal. You need to choose to do the work. You need to choose to face it and to recover from it. Obviously, that's your part, and that was my part too. But nobody did play any part in being abused. And because I remember I mentioned that I had no memories about certain things. I had a few memories back, but not everything. Some few things were blurred. And that's when this person basically said that I did play a part in it. So the reason why you don't remember something, it's because an abuse happened. And your brain, which is very smart, it does protect you from remembering something that was distorted in any kind of shape. And because of that, you started to protect yourself. It's a sort of a defensive mechanism. So the faster way to know sometimes that we have been abused, especially in certain circumstances, it's when you don't have memories. Or if you do have memories, they're very blurred. And basically your brain wanted to protect you from the truth because something was installed in you. A sort of truth, a sort of belief that you were the problem, that you were the one doing that. And that's why so many people that have been experiencing abuse, which I did my research, they have memory loss. And also not only that, they all have one thing in common. They thinking that they did it. That's why you don't remember. This was intense, isn't it? And this is what happened to so many people. You have no idea how many people experiencing the same. And my job after all of this was creating an episode for you to really go through this process, to see it yourself. And if you experience anything like that with anybody that you have been working with, it's not okay. You have the right to stop that, to work with that person and actually find someone, which you can find someone that really trauma-informed, abusive, they know abuse, they use a certain technique. So you can find the right person. So I'm not saying that the right person doesn't exist. It does exist. Just be discerned and do not force healing and forgiveness. The person that work with you need to respect that. Forgiveness, it's your choice and nobody can take that away from you. You didn't play any part into any of that. And coercive control is abuse or anything like that. It's not a belief that you have to shift. I hope this is really help you to be more discerned in the society we're living in and trust yourself more. And I wish you to really use this episode as a roadmap for yourself. And just let me know how the episode was and what are you learning from it. And follow, subscribe, and I'll see you into the next one.